welcome in. It's the NORA Cup Series 2023, race number 26. That's right, we're getting dangerously close to the end of the regular season for the NORA Cup Series. It's Tuesday night, and tonight we continue our streak of races here at Michigan International Speedway. And if you were with us on Sunday night, it was an absolute barn burner. I don't know, sometimes we get a different thing going on Tuesday than we get on Sunday, vice versa, but it could be a lot of fun out there as drivers were willing to take the gloves off and go door handle to door handle. Well, they don't really have door handles, but you get what I mean. Side by side throughout the entire race, and perhaps that is what we're going to see here tonight. Once again, I'm Trevor Greenfield. You're watching live iRacing on VirtualRacing.Network, and it's so great to have you with us here live in YouTube. And if you're not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll get all of our races in your inbox and on your front page of YouTube, so you won't be able to forget it. Here we go. Let's get this one off and running as we're just about to get into qualifying. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the points stack up here for the NORA Cup Series. And here you can see it on your screen. Vincent Arthur right now atop the points still after a great performance last week. And of course, those of you who were with us, Vincent doing some play-by-play calling with me on Sunday night for the Icon Cup Series. It was a lot of fun, but he probably took some really good notes out there. So we're going to be watching to see whether or not Vincent takes the top spot here tonight in Michigan. But just a 20-point margin over Ronnie Norman, and Brady Moats also up there for the top three in the points. Jake Christenberry gaining a spot in the points, and he doesn't really need to do anything to get into the playoffs, but a couple of drivers back here still fighting to get their way into the playoffs. Tom Senchek being one of those, and Cameron Thompson, should he show up tonight, is going to be fighting for one of those positions. So with that, I hear the cars out there on the track. We'll be taking a look here at the owner points and then getting down to qualifying. Here's the top position still staying the same in the Season 3 owner points, with Flatline 1, 2, and then JRC third, but Ready to Wreck Racing with Brady Moats now jumping up a spot. As you can see, Flatline's number 25 car jumping down a spot, and it's still a tight battle throughout the rest of the field, so it's going to be interesting to see how that one shakes out this season. So here we go. Let's see who's out there right now. We got Jacob Gladelich just about to start his lap. Just now coming across the start-finish stripe. Go ahead and jump on board with Jacob and take a ride around here of the Michigan International Speedway. You can see very fast raceway indeed. Well up over 100 and close to, well, we're going to do over 190 for qualifying, so probably touch close to 200 miles per hour here coming into turn number 3. Kind of in the middle groove, middle groove on the track there, through 3 and 4, Jacob does, managing the grip level and trying to get the most speed out of it. We'll roll across the line. One of our top 3 so far, so a great time for Gladelich, just 5/100 of a second off. As you can see, it's overcast out there right now, so that's definitely going to bring the track temp down a little bit, and currently we're looking at 80 degrees on the track as Jacob pulls it down to a stop. Let's see who else is out there at the moment. We can see Nick Geilis just coming to the end of his lap. As he has gone into the top 5, so currently sitting in 5th. And we'll pump over here to Adam Lukowski. One of our few independents in the field. Great paint scheme to boot. Currently just coming around to take that flag on his first lap. And that will put him actually the last in our field, 17th fastest. So definitely he would have wanted to see a little bit better qualifying effort than that. Here's somebody you want to keep on the radar. If he's not winning races, he's coming in third. Dustin Kleba, driver out of Iowa City, Iowa for KPR Motorsports. Just coming across the start-finish line. He'll dive down onto the apron to get the maximum amount of speed. Where is it going to put him? How about third fastest? Right, Ryan Bird of Late Apex Racing putting in the top time. Vincent Arthur feeling it out there, getting second fastest. Take a look and see who else is about to come across the start-finish line. I see Roddy Norman just on his warm-up lap, and here's Blake Timmons, another very fast driver for the JRC Sim team. Where's he going to end up qualifying here tonight? He's across the line. And only good enough for 11th fastest, but still a great place to start here at Michigan. And we certainly saw Sunday night there was all kinds of opportunity to make passes throughout the entire race. Beginning to end, lots of drafting to go on, so certainly you're not relegated to sticking around in the back of the pack if you can't get in a great qualifying lap here or even win that. We are now watching with Ronnie Norman. On board we jump. See his hands working in the cockpit. Hello over on YouTube. Everybody in the chat room, let us know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from. Let us know if everything sounds okay, looks okay. Ronnie Norman not getting in a qualifying lap. He was 0.5 of a way from getting in his qualifying lap, and he's going to have to start last. So I'm not sure if there was a gear failure there, maybe. As we can see, it's quite foggy out at the speedway, but that's going to do it for qualifying. So with that, let's go ahead and set the grid for tonight's race. It's round number 25, the Michigan International Speedway. And sitting on pole position is, of course, Ryan Bird with a fantastic lap. Become very accustomed to seeing that guy at the top of the charts, and Vincent Arthur putting in a lap that is just 1/100th of a second off. Very close indeed. Take a look at the grid, and they're sitting there on pit road, just about to get going. Third fastest tonight was Dustin Kleba, and starting alongside him will be Jacob Ladelich. Matthew George will be on row 3 with his teammate, Josh Conover. Brady Modes for Ready to Wreck Racing, going to be starting next to Nick Geiles for Nightmare Motorsports, one of the best starts of Nick's season so far. Anthony Mackie with a very good starting position for Prestige TRD. Chad Engel going to be starting alongside him for Brian Powell Motorsports, and then now we jump back to 11th place. That's Blade Timmons. He'll be starting next to this guy, who I'm normally next to here in the booth. But of course, tonight he's got other duties. He's going to be tackling the number 155 Chevy for Full Send Motorsports, his team, Christian Snyder, starting 12th fastest. And on the in 13th, we've got Everett Couts, and next to him will be Justin Moody. Starting in 15th place is going to be Josh Curry for Prestige TRD. Alongside him will be Jake Christenberry for Prestige. So that's 3 Prestige teammates all going to be starting nose to tail. We'll see how that works out. Jacob Malone, Brian Powell Motorsports, and Christopher Thomas. Starting in 19th will be Adam Kulikowski. We've got Tom Senchek. Cody Reeder actually starting all the way back in 21st. He seems to not be running, though. We'll have to see if we can get that thing running. There you go. Sometimes you gotta give it a little kick in the butt, get it going, flip some switches. You know the story. Ryan Caddy. Those of you who are fans of the Icon Cup Series will recognize Ryan. He's actually already made a start here in the NORA Cup Series. Great to have him back tonight, running for Full Send instead of Flatline like he was running before. Full Send, very lucky to get him. Didn't have a particularly great race, result. He was up in the top 5 on Sunday night. But Ronnie Norman going to be starting back here in 23rd. And next to him will be Dakota Moniz. And got Brendan Dunford in here as well. So Elite Apex Racing well represented once again as they are now forming up. But we're just about to go green here. These other cars aren't going to have a chance to catch up, I don't think. Green, green, green is the call from the spotter, and we are go here at the Michigan International Speedway. Ryan Bird out to the early jump with Vincent Arthur holding tight. Now fanning out 3 wide for 3rd place. On the inside, we've got, that's Dustin Kleba. And now it looks like Vladelich has moved up into 3rd. So Vladelich already making big moves here at Michigan. Now here comes Vincent Arthur to take the move, and Vladelich having a problem coming in through the corner. So it looked like Arthur tried to make a move heading through turns 3 and 4, and then perhaps Vladelich trying to take a little bit of evasive action, drives up the track. There you can see Hanover fighting with Vladelich now on the outside. That's the 5th position. And just behind, that's Nick Geilis and Matthew George for Flatline. Brady Moats now sneaking up into this group. Actually had fallen back 1 position, but now he's back to where he started the race. And it's side by side once again up in front. So far, no problems for Ryan Bird. He sits feeling pretty good about his machine right now at Late Apex Racing. And again, Vincent Arthur taking notes on Sunday night. I'm sure he is going to have a lot of little tricks up his sleeve for tonight's race, already getting the 2nd fastest starting position. And he's going to need it. There's been a lot of great competition that has come out of Ryan Bird and Dustin Kleba, a lot of these drivers. Here he goes side by side down the front stretch through the trioval here. Side by side, they're going to race down the front stretch. And it looks like Vincent Arthur is going to pull off that move on the outside. Strong racing from Arthur already. Cooler conditions, foggier conditions, perhaps helping him that outside lane work. Just behind, that's Ryan Bird and Jacob Vladelich now side by side. Wow, Bird really getting a good run on the low side, but not quite as good as Vincent Arthur has up in front. So Arthur doing a bang-up job here at the start of this one, but here comes the draft of Bird. Going to back off, going through turn 1. Better of it. Try to size up Arthur, perhaps down the back stretch. Jump back here. We've got some more action happening a little bit further back here. This is Anthony Mackie. And just in front, that's Matthew George and Jay Christenberry going side by side. Christenberry in the 23 for Prestige PRD. Currently up 5 spots, so he's definitely feeling something behind that wheel. Oh, almost making contact with the back end of Blake Timmons, though. I have to watch how closely he gets up there and follows some of these cars. But he'll get it straightened out. A lot of moving around for position. Just behind, I think that's Chad Engel there. On the low side for Brian Powell Motorsports, getting underneath Anthony Mackie. And here comes Tom Senchek in the middle, making it a tight 3 wide. This is for 13th position. Senchek almost moves up into Anthony Mackie. That was almost a disaster there. But he manages to get it back together. You see these drivers are not afraid to make some passes out here. Take a look back further forward. Josh Conover up 3 spots, now holding on to 3rd. But guess who's already kind of checked out a little bit? That's Vincent Arthur, who's managed to escape off the front. We've got a yellow flag, though. And I believe it's Josh Curry and Tom Senchek. We have a problem. Looks like several cars caught up in this one. Dakota Moniz slowing down. So we'll have to back this one up here and check it out. Not sure exactly what the root cause of this one is, but thank goodness we have good replay system. So here's Josh Curry, number 51, in the center of your screen there. It looks like he starts to put that action. Oh, it starts up just ahead with Senchek, who gets, I believe, taken out. Not sure who was in the middle of that one, but as we dive down here, and we can see just entering the picture there, that is, I believe, the 33. And I find that very interesting because normally Ronnie Norman not really one to get caught up in these sorts of incidents, but you can see the type of damage going on just behind. It looks like Senchek getting sent around, and then 88 caught up in that, 51 of Curry. I think Kulikowski gets caught up in this as well, and he drops back. And so 88 of and 91 of Christopher Thomas getting caught up. So a lot of damage here for just one incident. Let's go ahead and jump on board with Tom Senchek and see what he saw from this incident. Looks like he's hanging on the low line. And he just doesn't see anything coming. A lot of tire smoke and spinning. So he manages to get it going again. Fortunately, no contact with any concrete. But let's take a look from Mr. Ronnie Norman's point of view, and we'll see what happened there. Because, as I mentioned before, this is not a typical thing that Ronnie Norman gets caught up into. It's kind of, he's in the middle here. He's feeling like he's getting into the middle. Now he moves up into, he tries to go higher, but he gets into the 54 and he just kind of ping-pongs down into Senchek. That's just unfortunate to make contact with Mackey. Mackey didn't do anything wrong. I'm not sure if Norman thought he was clear up above or if he just didn't see Senchek starting to move up on him. But either way, bring it back here after this first caution. A lot of drivers coming down on the pit road, including Senchek, Engel, Snyder, and Christopher Thomas. So with that, we're going to take a momentary break here, get some stuff fixed on our end, and we will be right back on VirtualRacing.Network. You don't want to go anywhere. Lots more green flag action to come. Welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. We have a surprise for you as we're just about to get going through here again. It's Christian Snyder. Unfortunately, we thought we were going to be seeing a lot more of his action. I was looking forward to checking in with him for in-race report, but Christian, you're out of the race this early on. That's unfortunate. Tell us about what took you out.
Yeah, I was just running nice and easy, dropping back through the field, and a wreck happened right in front of me. Went to avoid it and hit the wall. So, the product of this type of racing, this drafting type of racing, so they were pretty close up front and got stacked up. But we see some pretty intense racing up here for the lead. Ryan Bird and Vincent Arthur going at it right now, side by side for the lead.
Absolutely. Arthur took that lead away and started to run away before that yellow flag came out. Of course, Arthur was with us on Sunday night, and I know he had a notebook filled with notes what he was going to be doing tonight, I'm sure. But Kleba and Conover also fighting it out there for that second spot, and we've already got a bunch of really strong drivers up here at the front. I know Nick was also saying, oh, if he ends up out of this race, he'll come join us. But hey, don't look now. Look who's in third.
Yeah, he's running pretty good up there. I think he stayed out under that caution, gained some ground. He qualified pretty well, so good run there for Nick in 3. And he's got his buddy Conover behind him in the 25. He's not confusing us this week. It is actually him in that paint scheme.
Yes, indeed. We frequently get... But, I mean, we get Conover when we look at that paint scheme. It's somebody else in there because, it's become iconic for him. It's very visible paint scheme as well. But you can see Conover's kind of fallen back, as has Bird. So we just kind of missed whatever happened there with Ryan Bird. But he ended up falling back to 4th and 5th.
Ryan Bird, he got stuck on the inside and kind of got freight trained by those 3 guys on the outside. And the only reason it hasn't happened to Conover yet is because he's got Brady Motes behind him helping him. This is a pretty outside dominant track, so because whenever you're on the inside, you lose all that grip from the car on your outside. As you can see, Conover washing up the track, he's going to have to get out of the throttle, and that allows Ryan Patty in the 84 to get by him.
Ryan Patty, you're yet another great find for you, getting Ryan Patty over from the Icon Series. And he was running top 5 in Icon on Sunday night and did not end up with the best of results, but up 17 positions here, running in 5th place. So Full Send Motorsports still got a couple of drivers in this one. What did you feel while you were out there? Did you feel like you got enough time to really size up how the car is going to be running tonight?
Well, it was vastly different from what we had in practice. I went off into turn 3 and it just went to the wall so tight. So I didn't really get too much time because whenever I finally saved enough tires and I was ready to go toward the front, that next corner I was involved in a wreck, so I couldn't really put it all down. But I think it's still pretty loose, honestly, because if you get on one of those seams, it wants to snap. But for the most part, I think it's a little tighter than it was in practice. As we see a battle for the lead here, Kleba going underneath Vincent Arthur.
Kleba taking that spot down the front straight, and oh, they make contact!
Oh no, this is going to be big. Here we go. It's stacking up.
Arthur ends up okay correcting it out, but a number of cars getting involved. Curry being involved in this one. He's still cutting some grass out there. Kleba,
I think he went that low just to avoid, but Kleba, I think, gets the worst of it as he hit the right side directly into the wall, and that's what happened to me, and it took me out of the race. So we'll see what happens to Kleba here.
Well, it's a pity it's not the last lap of the race, because look who would be in the lead.
Yeah.
That would be something else to see Nick get a chance to get another W before the end of the regular season. But also Ryan Patty there in 2nd place. Let's go ahead and do what we do best, which is to review crashes here on VirtualRacing.Network. Take us through this one, Christian, and it's really unfortunate for both of these drivers.
Yeah, this one even started a little bit further back. What caused this basically is Kleba driving into the corner so deep underneath Vincent Arthur. So right here, you're going to see the only way that Kleba is going to be able to clear Vincent is by dive bombing him into the corner and sliding up in front of him. So you're going to see him go deep into the corner, slide up, and what Vincent's going to do is cross over underneath him, and then they make contact because Kleba gets loose right there, and then away he goes. Gets into Guileless. and then he just sideways on the track, very dangerous, as we see Matthew George barely making it by. I think that was Adam Kulikowski as well in the peak machine, and then, oh, man. Did you see Christopher Thomas go underneath him, man? Woo!
A number of drivers having to take that evasive action, and it's never pretty when you see these drivers have to do some crazy stunts and acrobatics with their machines just to get through one of these incidents. And you can just see Kleba seesawing at the wheel, getting sideways and getting into a couple of cars, including Vincent Arthur. But fortunately, Arthur kind of recovering from this one, getting up into 4th place. So he's not too bad off. Unlike Kleba, to kind of see this car control issue of sorts. I mean, I know anybody can make one of these incidents, but this isn't common to see Kleba get caught up in one of these things.
Yeah, that was the first time that he had a little bit of clean air, and whenever you're in clean air, the car is significantly looser than it is whenever you're in traffic. So as soon as he got that clean air, all the wind was on the nose of the car, and it just sent him around. We'll see here. He can barely see through all the fog. Finally sees him pull up the track, and good avoidance there for Christopher Thomas. But this fog, man, it's going to cause some incidents tonight if it comes any lower.
Well, it's very interesting, completely different than what we saw on Sunday night. And again, the track just racing very differently. It's much cooler than it was Sunday night as well. So a whole different race, and perhaps that's something that's going to make a big difference to Vincent out there, because he was taking notes based off of that. But speaking of Vincent, he's going to lead Engel, Kleba, Senchek down pit road, and what we've got right now is we're coming up to the first stage break. That'll be at lap number 27, and then the second one will be 72, and we'll be doing 120 laps overall. So Vincent, I think, trying to set himself up for the second stage. You know, one of the things, Christian, if we can actually get this up on the screen before we get back here, but if you take a look at the points as they are right now, look at those bonus points out to the right-hand column. 287 points to Vincent Arthur. I mean, you're looking at almost a third, not quite a third, but almost a third of his points coming from bonus points. Ronnie Norman kind of in that same ballpark. So these stage points are absolutely valuable to getting this regular season championship, and honestly, for a number of these drivers that are just trying to get in on points, I mean, this is incredibly valuable as well.
Yeah, if you look at the bonus points there, he has 287, and the guy that's on the outside looking, or on the inside looking out, is Joshua Curry with 290. He has 0 bonus points.
Yeah.
Vincent would have more than Josh if he didn't have any points and only had his bonus points. That's how many bonus points he's had this season, which is absolutely incredible. But we are back under green. Good friends on the front row, Guileless and Conover. Ryan Patty chose the outside and is going to have a decent start here, but Conover may be able to clear him here going into one.
Well, we ride along with Patty in the Full Send Motorsports 84 Chevy. Rides on the outside. Perhaps he's going to have a run on Nick Guileless here coming down the back. He decides to do a little bump drafting himself.
Behind them, it's spreading out 3 wide, 4 wide. Conover underneath Guileless for the lead. Jacob Malone underneath Conover for the lead. They're 3 wide.
We are 3 wide, and Malone down on the low side in the Best Buy 17.
He had no help there with the draft and the other two to go by him, but man, they're still side by side, 3 rows deep, and now we're 3 wide, almost 4 wide with Christenberry.
Some absolutely incredible stuff. Now we've got 2 around. That's Guileless. Guileless is around.
Off the bumper with Patty.
And he's still sitting back there. Malone, part of that as well.
Yeah, Malone got a pretty good hit into that right front tire, so we'll have to see if that affects him at all.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look. You know, I noticed Guileless was blinking, and perhaps that plays a role in this. You know, you only get away from that monster so many times, so to speak. Take a look here at Guileless from Lake City, Florida. He was running so well. He was up in the lead for the restart. He just gets tapped around by Patty. But I think he already had a little bit of side-to-side motion on that machine coming off the corner. If we jump on board, we can probably see whether or not he was seesawing at the wheel. This will certainly tell us here as he's coming through the corner. He's putting some right side correction in it. He gets a pretty good shove from Patty, though.
Yeah, he's sawing at the wheel, getting loose, and Patty was having a little bit of an easier time and was just in the throttle, and gives him just the slightest tap, and it sends him around. These cars are so light whenever they're coming off the corner onto the straightaway, so the slightest little bump can send them around. It's exactly what happened there. Patty was full throttle, ready to go, and Guileless was still trying to catch it. Patty had someone behind him, so he was trying to stay in front of him too, so that's just kind of a racing deal, but that kind of thing happens at these type of tracks. Someone gets loose in front of you, nowhere to go, send them around.
Well, and certainly as these things stack up, we've got a lot of these drivers, by the way, coming down onto pit road here, but, you know, as these things stack up, it's easier. I mean, when you're watching it live, you're always watching, like, you can see the drivers trying to check up, but at the same time, it all happens so fast, and you think to yourself, oh, he hit him from behind. Well, when you're in the cockpit like we were with Patty, you just see the driver in front slow down out of nowhere, 5%, 10%, whatever it is, as he's trying to get into the gas and get the car straightened out. And there literally is nowhere to go. I mean, you're not going to just jam on your brakes, and you can't really take evasive action going left or right, so you try to square up to the car in front, maybe give him a little bump, and unfortunately, that one was maybe a little too much of a bump for the position that Guileless was in at that point. But back up front, we're already kind of getting into survivor mode, Michigan International Speedway, as it's Josh Conover who's moved to the front here, and I think he's going to be pretty happy to run at the front, get some clean air on that car, and lead this race for a while. And of course, we will be having that stage caution on lap number 27. But hey, Christian, look at this guy who's in second place. He's up 14 positions. It's kind of the usually the chat favorite here, although I'm not seeing anybody in our YouTube chat rooting on Christenberry like we always see, but I'm sure he's there. Oh, there we go. It just showed up for me. Saying hard to hear Trevor a little bit, so we'll bring down the car noise, but just a heads up from the Christenberry clan watching live. We appreciate it. Don't text and drive, kids. Vinny saying about the incident that happened in front of him. Chris Arthur checking in. Hey, Chris, great to have you. Letting us know. Let's go, Vincent Arthur. Absolutely. Always great to have family and friends and supporters always checking in. Appreciate that. Stephen Dombrowski, hopefully going to be another awesome race like Sunday. Well, it's already been an awesome race. Just a couple of incidental contacts here. Really not much. I mean, there's not much that could be done. I mean, yeah. I was watching the incident, I believe the one that got you with Ronnie Norman sliding up the track and ping-ponging off of Mackey and into Senchek. And it's just one of those racing deals. I mean, unfortunate that we're starting off with a couple of those racing deals, but maybe we'll get it clean from this point on. Ryan Bird, Josh Conover going to lead us back to the green flag here at Michigan.
And this is going to be a green-white checkered for the stage. They're going to come to get the white flag as they hit the lap 26. So these guys are going to be racy. If they weren't already, they're going to be even more racy right now for stage points. And the person who needs them the most, Ronnie Norman, trying to capitalize on that to catch up to Vincent Arthur in the regular season championship. But we got a little bit of a battle there between Ryan Bird and Dunford, and now Brady Moats underneath Brandon Dunford.
Here comes
Bird's going to send
Bird.
it into 3.
Absolutely. He does not care that he's not fighting for the overall regular season championship. He's going for race wins. He's going for stage wins. But I think it's Conover who's going to take it. Christenberry in second. Ryan Bird in third.
This is the white flag. They're coming to get the checkered for the stage. So he's got another shot at this, but Christenberry going to work the outside here, try to get a run on Conover. He gets the wall.
Christenberry smacks the wall, gets recovery back on that machine, and Bird able to take advantage. Christenberry still hanging on in 5th place. Brady Moats to the inside. That's really
contact. There's a little bit of contact there between Brady and Christenberry, but that will be the end of the stage there.
That was 4 wide at the end of the stage for 5th place. Unbelievable stuff here at Michigan for the end of the stage. Conover, Bird, Christenberry, and I believe Moats and then Dunford, but we'll have to see how it gets officially scored. Christenberry hit the wall there coming to that flag. So that was a difficult run for Christenberry, but Brendan Dunford able to squeeze up there and get into that top 5 there at the end. Conover taking control of this race, taking the maximum amount of points, and Bird there in 2nd place. So we're going to step away for just a second. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. A number of these drivers coming in, some choosing to actually take no tires at all. And Ryan Patty not coming in on that caution. He stayed out, so he'll take over the lead for Full Send Motorsports. And Vincent Arthur, Dakota Moniz, choosing not to take any tires, just fuel only. So they come back out in 2nd and 3rd. I think Vincent wants to get up there and get some clean air, try to take over the front end of this race. But Christian, I think we've got our first driver in-car interview lined up.
Yeah, Josh Conover, it's Christian and Trevor up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Well, you take the win in stage 1. Good run for you so far. What do you got for these guys to win the race?
Phew. Beats me. I was the definition of slow in practice, and somehow I think I started 6th, which Again, don't ask me how I did that one. And even running like I was, don't ask me how I'm doing it. I'm kind of just stomp and steer almost, except for getting the car set on entry. But I don't know. Draft is huge. Kind of like we're racing a truck right now. But I think if it wasn't for Jake getting into the wall off of 2, Ryan and him probably would have had something for me. But I was just making a comment. I should have ranked up for points. I think I got more stage wins over here than I do in my own point series. So.
Yeah, you do have quite a few stage wins here, and I think you're 2 to green right now, or are you 1 to green here?
1. We choose on 1 just because it's the quicker yellows, because it's over a mile and a half or whatever the iRacing does.
Okay, well we'll cut the interview short there so that you can get back to racing. But good luck the rest of the race. Hopefully we can see you on the podium again here and talk to you at the end of the night.
You probably gave me a broadcast curse talking to me. I'm probably going to wreck it off 2 here getting loose, so I'll be back.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Well,
always fun interviewing Josh.
of course, and he's only racing for owner's points, so he's got MLB going or Call of Duty or something in the cockpit. But it's always great to hear from Josh. He does so much work behind the scenes to make the NORA scene, the NORA community run. All these NORA races, so much work done by Josh and the points and administration and setting everything up. Ryan Patty, though, visits from his own league, from the Icon Cup Series, comes over here. Now he's up into the lead for Full Send Motorsports. And he's got Vincent Arthur, the current points leader, right behind him. And this is some scary territory here, as both of these drivers have already been involved in incidents in this race. Taking a look just behind, that's Dakota Moniz for Late Apex Racing. Josh Conover now diving down to the inside of Moniz. You see Arthur going to the inside of Patty, but Moniz able to get back in front of Conover. And it looks like Arthur
got help from behind.
What's that?
I was going to say Conover has help from behind with his teammate Jacob Gladelich, but side by side for the lead, Patty and Vincent. We've seen this before with Vincent running on the bottom, trying to cross someone over and kind of got into... Oh, no, Cody Reeder
Somebody
into the wall.
hard into the wall back there.
That was Cody Reeder in the 85, hard in the wall. Doesn't bring out a caution. He still kept it straight, but Vincent Arthur trying to slide up in front of Patty, but Patty's got the run on the outside right now with momentum. He's got a little bit of a draft help with Moniz, but not quite enough. Vincent going to side draft him and dive into the corner more than likely here. We'll have to see. He doesn't send it that hard into the corner. Going to try to get a good run off the corner instead. They're still dead even here coming out of turn 2. Oh, we got a spin in the back.
We've got somebody spinning back here. I don't know if it wasn't Christenberry. I'm not sure who got caught up in this one. There's Couts.
Yeah, I believe it was Couts in the 77 going around.
I could hear somebody spinning. I just, no notification in our software. Let's see if it is in fact Couts here. Coming through the corner. Looks like he gets kind of close. Oh, yes. In fact, it wasn't Couts. Who is that? That
Curry? Was Moody.
Was that?
Or maybe it was Curry.
Yeah, Curry.
Curry, yeah.
Who gets turned around. Let's go ahead and take a look. We'll see what happened here from overhead.
From that brief view, it looks like he's going to get loose on the seam and then go right around in front of Everett. You can see he's already loose from hitting that seam once and then just never caught it.
Well, talk about that seam for some of these folks out here who are watching on and are not familiar with how that works.
Yeah, there's 4 black lines on the track that you can see right there. Those are basically keeping the lanes glued together, and it's really slick whenever you get your tires on it. It's not part of the racetrack necessarily. It is a compound that keeps the asphalt together, so it's really slick whenever you get your tires on it. And that's exactly what happens here to Curry, as he just barely touched it as he crossed it over and then went around. And it's basically, you've been driving on the roads. It's like black ice. As soon as you hit it, you're around.
Certainly. I don't know. I never found black ice when I was living in.
Oh, you're from Florida, that's right.
Well, I am in Florida now. I spent a bunch of years up in North Idaho. I was in Western Washington and Oregon, so I did black ice there. But the first 20 years of my life, I was in Southern California. So I tell you what, the moment that rain comes out in Southern California, everybody slip sliding like it's black ice. They're white knuckling their steering wheels. But no, certainly that makes sense, and the car gets kind of high centered for a second. It loses traction. But Christian, something a little confusing to me. I thought because it's a little bit cooler conditions out there, a little bit cooler on the track, I thought there'd be a little bit more grip. Is it just that the seam is causing the problems? Are these drivers? Yeah. Is the fog causing the issue? What do you think is really the issue at this point?
It's 100% the seams. If you're not on the seam, the car handles really well, but if you cross over that seam, it just wants to jolt to the left. So if you're right on board with some of the drivers throughout the green flag run, that's why they're correcting the wheel to the right very often through the corner, because as you slide up the track, if you run the bottom lane, you're going to cross at least 2 seams. And every time you do, the car is going to want to pull down to the left, so they're always correcting to the right.
Well, I had the fortunate pleasure of running an Indy car at California Speedway, as it was known back then, Fontana, and I felt that seam. It's pretty strong. I don't think it's as strong as it is here at Michigan International Speedway, but it's something else. It's like driving down the road and you feel the bumps in the middle of the road. It's almost like crossing over something like that, or the crown in the road, depending on what kind of road you're in. But yeah, it is something for sure. And obviously a lot of our watchers are iRacers as well. And so they know about that, but you don't get it at every track. It's very few tracks where you find those seams in the pavement. So typically, if there is multiple grooves, it's not really marked by something you can feel on the track. Looking over, great job moving up, buddy. Keep going to the front, Ronnie. Absolutely, Stephen Dombrowski. Emily Christenberry, looking good, Christenberry, and Megan Beadle, let's go, bub. Harper saying, wish I could be there tonight. Internet is down around my area. That is unfortunate stuff. We're certainly missing you out here, Tim.
There was some bad weather in North Carolina yesterday, so he's native to North Carolina. So luckily, he has a house still, at least, right, because there were quite a bit of tornadoes.
Right. Yeah, getting a lot of that, a lot of flooding, a lot of major issues going on right now on the East Coast for sure. Ryan Patty, he's been up in the front. He's in the front now. Vincent Arthur going to be starting just alongside him. And we are green here again at Michigan International Speedway. They're already 3 wide. Brady Moats like a ping pong ball between Josh Conover and Jacob Malone.
Jacob Malone 4 wide.
Dakota Moniz in there as well, 4 wide. I guess they didn't get the memos about this being dangerous territory, but we're 3 wide for second place for a moment. Now we shake that loose. It's Moats and Malone who go up and just blow by Vincent Arthur.
Yeah, I think he had a moment coming out of turn 2, got a little bit loose, and that allowed Moats and Malone to get a good run. But now Vincent, with the run off the corner, he's going to push Moats right by Ryan Patty here on the bottom. If Moats can clear him up, let's see if he does. He will easily clear him here. Gets a little loose on exit, but does save it here. But that's going to allow Vincent and Patty to have a run on him.
Side by side down the back stretch. Vincent Arthur sends it down to the low side. He's going to try to take that lead position away from Brady Moats, and he does. Vincent Arthur taking the lead momentarily, but with Patty behind Moats, he's probably going to get that push over the line, and he does. So Arthur has to go back up the track and try to get some of that draft and try and put a little block on the drivers behind. Meanwhile, Patty drifts a little bit higher than Moats on the outside of the track. Are we going to see him try to cross over here?
Oh, Malone into the wall there.
A lot of drivers
a little bit
doing
of damage.
making a scrape with the outside wall.
Oh, you see Moats, he saw what Patty did last corner, run the top. He's going to do that going into 3 and take away Patty's line. That's what you're going to see a lot of the leaders do throughout the night. But Patty going to push Moats again down through 1 and 2, and let's see what lane they choose this time. Both of them going to go kind of mid-track here. Vincent kind of stuck on the bottom right now, and that's going to allow Malone to get a run on the outside. But was that too big of a run? He almost got into the wall, but keeps it off, and he has a fantastic run down the backstretch. Going to dive low here into 3.
Taking the low line into 3. Here comes Malone. He's going to try to take a run on Moats, or is he? Here comes Patty down to the low side. No, he thinks better of it. Vincent Arthur about to recover and get that draft. Here comes Conover just behind. It's really stacking up now. 5 cars all sharing a very small space on the track. Nose to tail at the moment. Now side by side with Conover and Arthur, who are teammates over at Flatline. Don't forget that little aspect as well. But Conover there to try to get Vincent Arthur up there into the front if possible. And here comes Malone down underneath Brady. He's got it this time.
He is going to clear him, but Brady going to have a good run here with the draft. Let's see if he tries to make a move going into 1. He's going to go low. Let's see if it works out for him.
He'll squeeze down to the low side on Jacob Malone.
Now who's Patty going to go with? That's going to determine who gets the lead here. Patty going to take the outside, work with Jacob Malone, and put him right by Brady Moats. And now Vincent Arthur to the outside of Moats with a good run down the backstretch here. He's going to run the top again. He's going to have a good run down the front stretch here. And he's got help from behind with Conover. Let's see how big this run is for Vincent Arthur.
Vincent kind of not... I mean, it looked like he was going to get a big run there, but I think Patty right now sizing up Malone. Arthur not quite able to capitalize on that run. Of course, taking a look, Patty came in on lap 23. A lot of these other drivers all came in on 28, and we do have a caution. It's Anthony Mackie. He's putting up some smoke on the backstretch. He's facing the opposite way there. That'll give, I'm not sure who that was, but that'll give them a chance to catch back up. Let's take a look at what happened to Mackie. Mackie kind of running by himself, and what if he just gets loose coming through the corner? Yep. Goes up, just same thing, gets loose coming through the corner, goes up and smacks the wall on the outside of turn 2.
Yeah, if we watch the blimp camp, I think he's going to cross over a seam again and get around, and I think that's what caused that here. We'll have to take a look. So riding up on the blimp, he's going to cross down over that seam right here, still fine. And then as he crosses over 2 of those seams, it snaps on him.
Car is just so sensitive, and I'm guessing that's a lack of downforce, honestly. Or it could be the underside downforce. I know that NASCAR has been out there testing heavily at a couple of tracks, trying to get an answer to how to get the car to feel a little bit better on the rear end exiting the corners.
Well, that answer is just go back to the Gen 4, but I know they won't, but man.
Well, they were talking
those
about
Gen 4s.
They ripped the low side diffuser off, and then they put a bigger topside rear wing, and suddenly you're back to old school topside downforce, and it doesn't make I don't understand it. Personally, like, it would seem like the underside downforce, keeping the car sucked to the bottom of the track, would basically be a better way to go about it. But obviously, the drivers really felt like that made a big difference. They also went to thicker tread tires, and they said that actually made a bigger difference as well. So a lot of things that they're trying in real life, probably for exactly this reason. Just a little too lightweight on the rear end for a lot of these drivers' comfort levels. But look who takes over the lead. It's Jacob Malone. He's up 16 positions so far. He's got Dakota Moniz for Late Apex Racing just behind. And Late Apex now has 2 drivers in the top 5 with Ryan Bird. Chad Engel for Brian Powell Motorsports holding on in 4th place. And Justin Moody for Prestige TRD. He was involved in an incident earlier on, but here he is back again. First driver to come down on this caution, Vincent Arthur. So Arthur with some very fresh tires, and he should be good to fight through this stage for sure, while these other drivers are going to start struggling here coming up in about another 10 or 15 laps.
Yeah, we still have 30 laps left in this stage, so the majority of them are going to have to pit again, but I think Vincent Arthur and everyone who just pit are going to be very borderline on fuel. I want to say the fuel mileage is going to be about 30 laps, and that's right about where we're at, 30 laps to the end of the stage. So we'll have to see if they have enough fuel, and we know for a fact that the top 5 do not have enough, but they will get passed up pretty quick here because tires are so important.
Well, some different ways. You don't have a fuel map to go to on these cars, but you can get up behind a car and draft, of course. That's a great way to save on a little bit on fuel. That's just one way. Another way, of course, is if we get some more cautions, which if you're a betting man, I would say you might bet on getting another caution before the next stage. But either way...
It's very possible. I mean, the way that these seams are so loose for the car, even the best of drivers are going to have issues. Kleba coming out of the corner, he got onto the seam a little bit and went around. So even the best of the best are going to have issues with that seam.
Well, certainly these drivers have been tested here tonight. A number of different drivers having incidents that we wouldn't necessarily expect. Kleba, for example, having an incident, something that we just haven't seen. But we're back to green here at Michigan International Speedway, and we've got a long ways to go. Who is going to take the next stage? Who's going to take the final checkered flag? Tell you what, Jacob Malone would love to see a victory here, even though he's not racing for points. It would sure mean a lot to take a NORA victory. But again, he and the rest of the top 5 now, actually, as we get Vincent Arthur now already up there into 3rd, the rest of the group around him basically not going to be able to make it on fuel to the end of this stage.
Yeah, this first lap, you're going to see Malone and Bird able to actually stay in front of Vincent because he's still trying to get the tires warmed up so that he can have a good run. But now with these two side by side, here comes Vincent with a big run down the front stretch. He's got 2 cars in front of him that are breaking that air, and that allows him to suck right up to him. And now he's going to break early into the corner as we see contact back there. Moniz, and I believe that's Engel.
Yeah.
Engel saves it.
Engel falling backwards, kind of in a hurry there. But back up front.
He just drifted up the track a little bit, got into the side of Moniz and got loose. But back up front, like you said here, Bird going to take the lead off of Malone. And now he's got to play defense here. Let's see if he blocks low. Malone going to choose to stay with him the whole way down the front stretch. Not going to drive it in too deep. Maybe saving his tires here for the end of the run, or even fuel strategy here, just tucking in behind him and using him as draft.
Right now, Ryan Bird flying high here at Michigan International Speedway, doing a great job for the Late Apex team, but Malone drifts up the track and into the wall.
Yeah, Malone into the wall the second time so far tonight. Vincent Arthur now going to drive by him, clears him for second place, and now that leaves Moniz to try to catch up to Malone. Malone going to try the bottom underneath Vincent, but with those 4 new tires, he's going to easily defend that position. As a hard hit for Brady Moats, and now gets into Josh Conover as well there.
Brady Moats drifts up the track as well. This has become so common here tonight, and now he runs on that apron. He must feel something is wrong with the machine. Not sure if he's going to pull it. It looks like he's going to pull it down pit road.
Yeah, from the looks of it, he might have a meatball with that right front tire or maybe right rear not being attached too well. So he's going to have to pull it in, get that toe fixed, and then come back out. So an unfortunate break here for Brady. Let's see if he's able to come back out on the lead lap and try to continue his race. But back up front, Bird and Arthur. Bird's got a pretty good lead over Vincent Arthur, but eventually Vincent should be able to catch up here with help from behind with Malone.
Well, here comes Malone once again. He had that incident, looked almost like what Moats did, coming up and hitting the wall and coming back down into the track. Fortunately for Malone, not incurring any sort of meatball that would require him to come in. Of course, meatball is the black and yellow flag that is displayed at the flag stand, which means that you're dropping oil or you have some sort of major damage to your machine. You need to come into the pits, take on repairs. And so it's kind of a wild guess as to whether iRacing is going to give you one. I mean, the car may be just driving fine and it's not losing fluid or anything. But iRacing sometimes says, nope, no good. You got to pull it into the pits and get your car repaired. It's Christian. I mean, you've been through this too. Cars maybe just a tiny bit off, like maybe the steering's just a tiny bit off. You can drive through it, no problem. And you got to come down. It's like 10 minutes of repairs on pit lane.
Believe it or not, that's actually what happened to me. I got into the wall. It didn't seem very hard at all, but as I pulled away from the wall, it said you need a pit for repairs, and I was kind of shocked. And I came in and it was 5 minutes of damage, so I chose to just hop up here with you. And since I'm not running for points, there was no need to stay out there. But man, iRacing sometimes just bites you.
I tell you, it's my least favorite thing in the world, being in a league, fighting for points out there, knowing that you really do have to complete every lap, and then you get into it's not like officials where you can just bail if you really want to. If you're in a league and you are fighting for points, you got to get every lap in, etc. But you get into contact lap 5, lap 10 or something, and you got to come in and take damage repair, or something goes wrong, and you still got to go out there and fight, and you got to go out there and you're 3 laps down the entire race. You still got to drive it out, and you're not competitive with anybody. You're not trying to beat anybody. Sometimes you do have a fast car and you got to go out there and run at the front with the guys because that's just where your car wants to run, and yet you don't want to do anything silly that would take out the leader. So it always really stinks when that happens early on in a race and you're forced to play in this weird role where you're several laps down or something like that. Ryan Patty, though, he's having a great race for Full Send Motorsports. He's been up in the top spot. He's been dancing around the top 5 pretty much all race long. And I kind of felt like on Sunday night, it didn't quite click with him. I don't know. I know he wanted to be up there and fighting for the race win and everything on Sunday night, but something wasn't there for him on Sunday. But here he is tonight. I think he's learned a lot from what went down on Sunday night, and he's ready to make his charge for top 5 and possibly a podium or better tonight.
Yeah, he messaged me before the we have a caution here, so I'll continue that statement later. We'll have to take a look here. It looks like Adam Kolakowski slow on the track. We'll have to see what happened to him. Kind of an odd spot to have trouble. It was toward the end of the straightaway, so that makes me think that maybe a net code situation here, as we see him with the 51 there. He's going to pull down. Maybe the 51 tries side drafting. No, just a little bit of a bumper hook there. He goes around. Not sure why that was a caution, but, iRacing deemed it dangerous and is going to call a caution there for it. So he wasn't even on the track sideways, so that's surprising right there.
And, speaking of, we don't exactly know if iRacing is going to call a caution, or, of they're going to call a meatball or what they're going to decide to do. Yep. We certainly went through that.
Yeah,
was
so many
it at
times this
Loudon?
season.
Loudon
Yeah.
was the track where it was just every single chance they could, they were throwing a caution. It didn't even matter if a guy was actually wrecking or not. It was like if he went slow on the backstretch, they were throwing a caution. Ryan Berg going to take this chance to gamble. Come on down and get fresh tires here on pit road.
And the guys who are staying out right now are hoping that this caution is going to allow them to save enough fuel for the end of the stage here in about 15 to 17 laps, roughly. But these guys are going to be good to the end of the stage, and they're going to have really good tires here. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to get up there and get stage points at the end of this one. But it looks like the top 10, maybe top 11 staying out.
Indeed, you got Arthur, who's going to be restarting in the lead. Ryan Patty in second. Josh Conover in third. Take this chance to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network, coming to the end of Stage 2. Welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. It's been a very interesting race so far as we're just about to cross the halfway point at the 25th round. The NORA Cup Series 2023. We're so grateful to have you with us here on VirtualRacing.Network. This is, it's been a showdown up front in between the yellow flags, so we'll see whether the yellow flags continue to be the deciding factor here tonight or whether we're going to get a nice long green flag run in. But either way, it's been Arthur and Patty been up front. Conover just kind of right there outside of the top two, ready to take over. I thought at one point Conover was ready to take over that front spot and just hold on to it. We've got a couple of other great drivers up here. Gladelich, Timmons, Ronnie Norman. Bunch of these great drivers that would love to get a win here in the NORA Cup Series. Vincent Arthur with a great run off of the front, but look at how it is stacking up behind. Conover with Timmons and Patty now up into this mix. Patty in second place. There's Conover down to the low line. Looked like he got a little loose there coming off the corner. Timmons on the high side.
Yeah, Timmons, last week's winner, trying to go back-to-back here. He had a fantastic late race charge in the Cup race here, or in the truck race, I believe he won.
Right.
Yeah, last week's winner in the trucks.
Stable here in the Cup Series.
Yeah, and he's been on a streak lately. I mean, he did win that truck race, and now he's looking for a win here in Michigan in the Cup. Truck obviously not racing this week, but still side by side here with Conover, and Conover's got a decent run, but he's going to drop in behind and get help from his teammate Ronnie Norman. He's going to try the bottom again here.
I tell you brought up the trucks, man. It's a bummer where you didn't see the trucks here this week. That would have been insane. I bet it would have been a great race. But Conover here, as you said, oh, he gets cut off by Timmons. And there's Norman just behind. Is he going to stick behind Josh? I think everybody's going to kind of stay in line here. Actually, Conover drifts to the outside. Is he going to hit the wall? Yes, he does. He gets into contact with that wall. That wall has claimed, off of turn 2, that thing has claimed so many victims.
Yeah, and I'm sure he is going to blame that wall contact on me for jinxing him tonight. Sure. So, but Ronnie Norman with a moment there. He drifted up the track. He had to gather it up.
Absolutely, and taking a look here is Everett Couts for the JRC Sim team, now up into this mix. Now behind Ronnie Norman. Currently running in the 7th spot, and just behind him, that's Jake Christenberry, part of the fan club out there rooting on for Jake Christenberry. There he goes to the outside of Couts. He might get stuck there on the outside. He's got to watch out for that, but Couts does see him, gives him a little bit of room.
He's going to try to clear Couts, not going to be able to. Now he will. At the last second there, he got a little bit of a draft from Ronnie, and it pulled him past Couts. And now you see behind Jacob Gladelich using that top lane. He's going to try to get a run here off the corner on Couts here. Maybe try low going into 3. He chooses to stay in line or go high of his teammate here. The 7 and 77 teammates at JRC, but up front, Ryan Bird back right on the bumper of Vincent Arthur trying to get that lead.
This has been pretty much the story here tonight. Bird up in the front with Vincent Arthur. Bird dives down to the low line. He's going to try to take that lead away from Arthur. You got Patty and Timmons just behind, fighting it out for that 2nd spot. Here comes Bird. This has been quite a battle tonight, and I know that Arthur really appreciates this tough competition coming in and challenging, but look at Jake Christenberry coming forward like a rocket, like he's on a timer to make a delivery in that DoorDash machine. He's up into 3rd.
Yeah, he made that outside work really well through 3 and 4, had an amazing run off the corner. And since Patty and Blade were side by side, it allowed him to just go right on by. And now he's starting to catch up to Vincent Arthur here. You got to wonder if he's on new tires, maybe. If he was one of those guys who pit, that might be the reason that he's able to make this outside work so well.
Well, he did come in on lap 57, so definitely 13 lap newer tires than everybody that he's passing out there. But the guy up in front, Bird, that may also explain how he was able to slice and dice and get up there and get by Vincent Arthur as well, because he came in on lap 57 as well. So as we continue on here, lap number 67, just about to come up to the end of stage number 2. These drivers, once again, trying to get ready for the end of this stage and get into position to try and capture the most points. Christenberry going by Vincent Arthur with no problem. Now has a 2-car length lead over Arthur. And meanwhile, where did Ryan Bird fly off to?
He is pulling away here from Christenberry, but now he's got someone behind him on the same tires with Christenberry. So we'll see if maybe Jake was able to save more than Ryan here in the next few laps and be able to catch him. But Jake's not going to have much help from Vincent because he's on those older tires, so Jake's going to be able to pull away from him. And Ryan's able to pull away from Jake now out to a three-quarter of a second lead.
Quite a run for Ryan Bird, just kind of leaving everybody in the dust here after so long of racing close side-by-side battling. This is still side-by-side back here, though. We've got some drivers definitely having 3 wide here in the corner. Gladelich and Conover and Matthew George battling it out for that position.
Wow, Gladilich with an elevator move from the outside the whole way to the bottom. Going to pass 2 cars in one corner. Oh, Josh sliding up the track. Ronnie's got a big run on the outside. We'll have to see what he does with it behind them. He's going to push Couts. We got to watch here. They might be 3 wide going into the corner behind them.
Well,
Brady Moat's going to try to get underneath Dunford there.
2 more laps here for Bird before the end of this stage.
Oh, Ryan Patty.
Patty, yes it is. Manages to collect that car after getting loose there through the corner, perhaps receiving a tap, but he comes out.
Oh, Norman into the wall.
Into the middle of this battle, and now Ronnie Norman starting to fall backwards as he's hit the wall. A couple of other drivers having issues as well. This next time by is going to be our stage caution, so everybody just rushing to get up there in front. It's Ryan Bird who is in front. Christenberry holding on to a strong second place. Vincent Arthur having a great run here, holding on in third. He's going to collect a lot of bonus points over his next closest rival in the regular season championship of Ronnie Norman. Blade Timmons, though, great run, 7 positions gained in fourth. Here's Matthew George, who's being challenged by Jacob Gladilich on the outside. Ryan Patty is back into this one in the 84, and that is going to do it. Ryan Bird taking the second stage here. Got to feel pretty good about that run so far and what he's got here in the last 50 laps or so, 45 laps of this race. He pulled out over a second on Jake Christenberry, and Christenberry's got to feel great too because he pulled out quite a bit on Arthur. Obviously, the difference in the tires, but that was a pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, definitely the tires had a lot to do with that, but still, Christenberry working that strategy and getting up into second is impressive. Another guy getting that strategy and to his advantage was Matthew George. Typically, we don't see him up in the top 5 until the end of the race. He finishes top 5 in that stage to get some stage points here.
Well, with that, we're going to take a momentary break. We're going to be right back with hopefully get us an in-car interview. We'll be right back. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Would you believe that the fastest driver on pit lane that time was Jake Christenberry for Prestige TRD? He moved from second into first place. Congratulations to him, gaining 15 spots so far tonight. I believe we're going to get a chance here to chat with Jake Christenberry. Hey, Jake, this is Trevor Greenfield in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Hey, man, a heck of a run that you've had out there tonight in the DoorDash machine. What's it been feeling like to you, and what do you got to do to win this thing?
It feels really good right now. hit the wall there at the end of stage one. Had a lot of damage. That's why I was in and off pit road 2 or 3 times, I think. But we're back to full power now, and I think we got a really good shot at it tonight. I think we started like 16th that last restart and drove up to second, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, the track, we've been seeing a lot of drivers having a problem with getting loose on the seams. Have you felt any problems with the seams out there?
When you're side by side, if you got somebody on your inside or your outside, it's a little slick, but it's really not too bad. I feel like some of these guys kind of pushed it a little too hard, a little too early, and may have paid for it. But yeah, it's a little slick, but it's nothing that I think we can take care of it.
Well, we got Megan Beadle, Riley Beadle, Robert Christenberry, and Emily Christenberry out here. You got anything to say to them before we let you go?
I just appreciate them tuning in always, and hopefully we can get it done for them tonight.
All right, my friend. Well, good luck out there. You got a rocket underneath you, and we'll talk to you after the race, I'm sure.
Thank you.
So that is Jake Christenberry, who joins us here. What a fantastic run he's having here at Michigan International Speedway. And also, for those of you out there in YouTube land, we appreciate you joining us so you can see the poll that's been put up there. Who do you think is going to win tonight's race here at Michigan for the NORA Cup Series? So far, it's a dead heat between Christenberry, Arthur, and Conover, with Ryan Bird not getting a vote, and that's pretty interesting. But we're about to come back to green. Jake Christenberry is going to lead us.
Yeah, one of the first times this season that he's the control car, so he's real happy to be that. And we are back under green. He's going to clear Vincent Arthur for the lead for now. But Vincent's got some help from Patty until he goes 3 wide going into turn 1 here. Ryan Patty going inside, trying for the lead.
What a move to the low side from Patty. It gets a little loosey. You got to give it to him for trying to pull it off.
Trouble.
Big trouble.
Senchek.
Big trouble in the middle of the pack. A number of drivers involved. Looks like it's Senchek still around. That's Josh Curry.
Yeah, Senchek was the first car that I saw sideways, so we'll have to see what exactly happened to him. Well, but Josh Curry involved in that one in the Lucas Oil machine.
Well, let's take a look here, and we'll see if we can jump over the top from our blimp cam. And Senchek there on the low side. It looks like 77 goes to Dodge. He goes up, it hits the 20, and comes back down and nails the 26. And I'm not sure that has anything to do with Curry, except Curry comes up the track there at the end and tags Senchek.
Yeah, Senchek was kind of the meat in the sandwich there. Actually, I think it was Kalsa was the meat in the sandwich and just kind of pinballed off of everyone. So we'll have to see what happens to Curry. He's obviously on the brakes here, slowing down. Locks him up, goes low, sees him start to go low, went high. Man.
It's like when you're walking towards somebody and they go to the right, you accidentally go to the right, and then you try to go to the left and they go to the left. Yep.
Yeah, those awkward moments in the grocery store or on the sidewalk if you live in a big city.
Exactly. Well, this is, I think we just saw from Curry's point of view, but this is from Senchek's point of view.
Yeah, just no warning at all. Those are the worst when you're not expecting it.
Well, and unfortunately, Brady Mote's getting caught up in that one as well, I believe. Or perhaps he was already a couple of laps down because of that caution earlier and the damage that he had. But now he's 2 laps down, so Vincent Arthur going to take over the lead once again from Jake Christenberry. Ryan Bird in 3rd. Ryan Patty. 2 Ryans sitting 3rd and 4th right now. And Blake Timmons in the top 5. Matthew George already up towards the top 5. This is getting a little scared for George. He's already up there in the near the top 5. He might actually be looking to take another win here in the NORA Cup Series. If he's feeling it that well this early on, usually he just marches up here from, 10th, 11th, 12th, and somehow there he is in top 5 at the end.
This is the time of the year that Matthew George usually gets hot, around the late summer months going into the playoffs. He's always been really good throughout the playoffs, has made the Final Four multiple times. So he's going to be one to look out for come playoff time.
It's the perfect time to get hot, to be honest with you, although we were talking about it on Sunday night, and it's no stranger thing to anybody out there. If you've been watching here in the NORA Cup Series, Vincent Arthur not having the greatest run of things lately, but he's aware of that, and he knows that the beauty of the fact that he got out there and he got those wins that he did. He had his playoff ticket punched, and he had the luxury of having a few races where he didn't get the type of finishes that he wanted to. But then last week, coming back and getting second place at Richmond, it just felt great to him. He knew that there were some different things that he could do behind the wheel, and he was ready to make some changes, talking with me off camera for a bit. So great for him, and he's got some great things cooking also behind the scenes for real life racing and otherwise. So great things going on for Arthur. But again, this is the time of the season where if you've been in a slump, or maybe you've been laying back on the wheel waiting for it to come to you, this is the time of the year where you want to see it start to come together, just as we're coming to the playoffs.
It's definitely the time to rebound out of the slump that he had for a few weeks there. He was finishing outside the top 10 and having bad runs. DNF'd a couple times even, which we typically don't see, but Vincent back to the beginning of the season form, back up front most of the weeks that we're here. So, but Jake Christenberry on his outside here has the green flag, is back out, and Vincent, he's going to jump out to a nice steady lead here going into turn 1.
Fantastic jump there for Vincent Arthur. Patty into second. Christenberry now fighting side by side with Dunford in the pink machine in that 20, who was involved there just a moment ago in an incident. But 49 of Ryan Bird now coming back through the field, and he loves holding that car down there on that low line. I think it's certainly right coming back off of a caution. He loves to hang down there at that apex. We see a number of these drivers fighting it out a little bit further back. That's Gladelich and Timmons. And then back up at the front, it's Arthur, who still holds a clear advantage. But look, that's Christenberry now challenging once again. There he is in 5th place, and just up in front, that's Bird and Dunford again side by side.
And look who's right behind him. Dustin Kleba coming back up into this thing. He was into the wall pretty hard earlier in the night. Now he is back into the top 5. So Vincent Arthur probably not liking that if he's listening along. Dustin Kleba coming back into the top 5.
Anytime you see one of those KPR Motorsports machines, you get a little nervous. It's like, doesn't matter which one of them it is. They got a talent, and wow, does Kleba get all kinds of sideways there. He almost had company from Malone.
Almost had company from Dunford, too. He got loose and got a little boot from Christenberry, and Christenberry now going to go on the outside of Dunford and try to make that pass, and Malone side by side with Kleba. I tell you who's enjoying, and never mind, caution is out. I'll pick back up on that.
Looks like Engel having an issue.
Yeah. Another odd spot coming out of turn 4 to be stopped on the track, so maybe has some help potentially.
Or perhaps got called emergency to go change a diaper.
This is possible.
Here's an angle from above, and he gets a little Little bit of a touch there.
Oh, Matthew George. I wonder if he hits the wall there. He was going through the grass almost and was heading right for the outside wall.
See if we can jump back and see what exactly went down for Matthew George coming through this incident. How did Matthew George end up so far back either? He was just up at the top 5. Ow.
Oh, man.
Oh, he did touch the wall.
That's more than touching. That's a pretty significant hit, and you can see in the wheel it's kind of shaking a little more than he wants it to. So that right front tire might be a little bit loose on the car, and he may have to hit and get some damage repaired in order to get back out there.
Doesn't visibly look like a lot of damage, but you never know.
Yeah, the body can take a beating, but what can't take a beating is that suspension that's in these next-gen cars. You barely tap the wall, and it can break a toe link in the right rear, left rear, depending on if you hit it with your right or left side. Typically, the front end stays attached pretty well, but something about those rear end axles just they don't like to stay attached.
Well, we've got a couple of cars here on pit lane. Anthony Mackie, Matthew George. George undoubtedly taking repair. Kulikowski was the driver that kind of came down the track a little bit and got into him. Tom Senchek, wow, you look at that damage on the right side of Senchek's machine. This is not Darlington. That's not common. And at these speeds here at Michigan, that could be pretty devastating for him. But back up front, Christian, this would be a pretty special thing. I mean, we've got 36 laps to go. But Ryan Patty's driving one of your cars up there in the number 84.
Yeah, we're trying to trophy hunt the rest of the season. Believe it or not, there hasn't been a single season so far in NORA that Full Send hasn't won in. This is the first year that we've been winless to this point, so now it's the time for me to go out and try to get some other drivers and try to put them in to good equipment and try to get them wins. And Patty, a pretty good driver, so I was happy whenever he messaged me and said he wanted to ride. So, and he messaged me before the race and he said, "Let's get a win."
Well, that's a pretty good guy to put your machine under for sure. Patty already, of course, punching his ticket into the Icon Cup Series playoffs, and he's shown well here already in the NORA Cup Series before, and he's doing a great job out there tonight. Of course, all these different tracks are different styles of racing. Last week at Richmond, very different style of racing than you've got tonight at Michigan. So, then Vincent Arthur last week getting second place. But hey, I wanted to ask you, have you heard from Jovi Ray recently? He'd be another one that you might want to stick in a car.
Yeah, I have. He's going to be coming back next Monday for the truck race. He's been having some family issues, and we'll be back next Monday behind the wheel of the 75 truck at IRP.
That is fantastic news. Well, we'll look forward to that. And IRP is going to be a lot of fun coming up next week. But this one is still 30-plus laps away from being completed. A lot of great green flag action to come. Ryan Patty leads us back to the green flag here at Michigan.
Oh, Jacob Malone. He's 3 wide already.
Malone not scared to put that car wherever it needs to go to make some passes. And he's down to the low side on Ryan Bird. Side by side they go down the front or down the back straight. And there's Christenberry just behind, along with the pink Nightmare Motorsports machine of Brandon Dunford.
Oh, up front, Bird underneath Ryan Patty for the lead. He drove it deep into the corner, but now he's going to have to check up a little bit, and that's going to allow Patty to have a good run off the exit. And Vincent's going to draft up behind Patty and help him by. Now Malone to the outside of Vincent Arthur here. He's going to poke his nose, try to get there, but not enough of a run to get alongside of Vincent Arthur there. Now you see Patty going down to try to break the draft. But not going to help him because Vincent Arthur just dives it in.
Absolutely, and here comes Malone. He's going to try to force the issue on the low side and make it 3 wide. Almost thought he was going to push up the track into Arthur, and now 3 wide down the front straight for the NORA Cup Series.
This is amazing racing right here. 3 wide for the lead. Malone going to drive it deep into the corner. He doesn't need to drive it that deep because there was a little bit of a moment between Patty and Vincent, caused them both to check up. But now Patty's got a good run here down the backstretch, and he's going to dive low going into 3. Malone going to try to cover it, but Patty's there. Now they're going to make contact, and now Ryan Bird going 3 wide for the lead.
So positions exchanging very quickly. We're 3 wide. Here comes Vincent Arthur, 4 wide at the line. Arthur.
What a run by Vincent. He's going to take the lead on the low side, 4 wide. But now Malone going to fight back on the outside here.
Well, this is a little bit more like what we saw on Sunday night. Here come the big drivers to the front to make a statement and perhaps take a chance to get a win here in the NORA Cup Series. Malone yet to get a win here in the NORA Cup Series. Brandon Dunford would love to punch. Well, he won't get a chance to punch his ticket, but he would love to see his name up there in the W column. Ryan Patty, the same as well. And Josh Conover, you know he'd love to take a win no matter how he gets it in whatever series he's racing in. So all these drivers out there fighting to try to win this one. And right now it looks like
Kristen Berry into the wall.
Kristen Berry again scraping the wall back here in 7th. Ronnie Norman getting stacked up, as is Jacob Gladelich behind. We're following Jake through the corner, and here comes Kleba back on the low side on Ronnie Norman. Back up front, though, it's Dunford and Malone who have settled into 1st and 2nd. Here comes Dunford down to the low side for Nightmare. Thought about it for a second, didn't quite have the run to make it work. Arthur and Patty racing side by side for 3rd. Arthur on that low side in the Pepsi machine. He's going to try to make the pass here, and he's got Ryan Bird. As Arthur pulls down, he manages to put the block on Bird. And Bird is going to have
Patty and Conover with a good run off the corner here, though. I think they're going to be able to clear these 2 guys. Well, now Dunford dropped down to give Vincent a little bit of a draft. He's going to be side by side with Conover into turn 1 here. Ryan Patty going to drive it in deep into the corner, try to get underneath Dunford, not able to. Going to drift up the track now.
And into the wall. Patty once
little
again.
tiny scrape.
Yeah.
He's all right.
It's all right till they show you that meatball flag, and you're like, ah, darn it. But no such luck so far, and Patty now Conover diving to the low side on Patty. I thought it was going to be 3 wide for a second. Dunford comes down to cover Conover, and Patty gets left hung out to dry.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we look at Malone's line here in these corners, he's the only one that's able to get down to that yellow line and just drive around the corner and get that grip on the inside. And we've seen in real life, if we watched real life, Martin Truex Jr. was able to do that more than anybody else and was able to lead quite a few laps. But the person who won in real life, Chris Buescher, actually drove that number 17. So Malone trying to win in the 17 as well.
Well, that is an interesting thing to spot. I thought Ryan Bird was the only one who was able to do that, and he was doing it off of the restarts, perhaps taking advantage of the tire situation and building up to speed. But Conover now up into 2nd. I'm hearing some scrapes against the wall potentially.
Yeah, that was Kristen Berry and Bird both scraping the wall at the same time. They came off the corner at about a 20-degree angle. But they're still getting it. They were full throttle off the corner. I think all these guys are pushing it as hard as they can at this point.
Sparks are flying, and paint is being left on the walls here at Michigan International Speedway. A moment ago, we were 4 wide at the start-finish stripe. Right now, it's Jacob Malone for Brian Powell Motorsports that has the clear lead over Josh Conover and Brandon Dunford. Ryan Patty sitting back in 4th, Ryan Bird in 5th, and Vincent Arthur back in 6th place. We look up here in front. It's not that it's not that case decided yet, as Patty now moves underneath Dunford.
Oh, look at this battle for the lead.
And
Conover to the inside.
Here comes Conover. He's going to try to make that move on Malone. Will he make it stick headed into turn number 1?
Yeah, you got to ask yourself if Malone running that bottom was maybe pushing the tires more than he wanted to. Oh man, Malone into the wall. He pulled Josh around almost, got him a little loose. Now Patty going to get right in behind Malone, and now 3 wide. Ryan Bird driving it to the inside. He's going to try drifting up in front of Ryan Patty. The Patty to his outside. Conover now with a run. He's going to make it 3 wide. Squeeze in there. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. Here comes Conover.
My goodness me. Bird had a heck of a run, but he does this lunging thing down into the corners, and it just doesn't quite seem to stick. Here comes Conover again, going to try it on Patty. And he almost turns Malone. Malone recovers, but now Conover back in 3rd, Patty in front, Dunford in 2nd. Malone is not going to like that. He's going to come back into this one on the inside of Kleba, who has now gotten up into 5th. There's Arthur, who's in 4th place. He's going to come up on the backside of his teammate Conover, perhaps give him a shove into the corner. Thinks better of it, pulls back. In the meantime, Patty now out front. And just like you said, though, you only get so many laps, Malone found out, of going down there and being able to push your tires into the corner. That's something that you might want to do there towards the end of the race when you got those fresh tires and nobody else is willing to make those low apex lunges or doesn't think of it. Oh, we've got Arthur really going down low on Kleba. And here comes Conover to the low side as well.
Yeah, Conover saw in his mirror that Vincent had to go low, so he pulled low to try to pull Vincent ahead of Kleba. It's actually going to work out, and Vincent's going to clear Kleba off of turn 2 here. Kleba's going to have a bit of a run with the draft here. Oh, no, he won't, because now Ryan Bird underneath him, side drafting him and pulling him back. Here comes Bird again underneath Vincent Arthur now. Trying to get there. Didn't drive it in far enough. Vincent Arthur going to help his teammate by Dunford here. Going to get right on his bumper and push him right on by.
Well, as we jump on board with Arthur, you can see that, but now he's switched up lanes, perhaps to stop somebody from coming forward and manage those 2 cars behind him. Dunford and Conover in front, still trying to battle it out for that 2nd spot. Patty clear sailing up in front. He's got no challengers at the moment. Here comes Bird with another one of those lunges. He's going to try to make it stick, coming through turn number 4 and out onto the front stretch. He's racing side by side, 190 miles an hour, 3 wide down the front stretch with Vincent Arthur in the middle and Dunford on the outside. And I don't think, again, Bird, he gets these great runs, tries to stick it in there, and it just won't stick.
Well, it would have worked for him, but Conover pulled low down the front stretch and allowed Vincent to get his draft and was able to pull ahead of Ryan Bird. And now again here, it looks like Vincent going to go underneath his teammate Conover and try to pass him here instead of work with him to catch up to Patty. And now that's going to allow Ryan Bird to draft up to Vincent now because they're side by side ahead of him.
Well, as we're just under 20 laps to go, of course. And we see Ronnie Norman down there on the apron.
Made a green flag stop because all these guys are going to need green flag stops to make it to the end. It's just a matter of when you take it. And Ronnie going to go early into pit road. Another thing is, do you want to take 2 tires, fuel only? What's it going to be this final stop of the race?
It's a good question, and if we don't get a yellow flag, all these drivers are going to have to come down. 20 laps to go segment brought to you by Snyder Graphics. That's facebook.com/Snyder Graphics. Get your wrap for your NASCAR Next Gen machine or truck or just about any car that you have on iRacing. They can do it for you. Up front, though, it's Josh Conover and Ryan Patty who are battling it out for the top spot with just 8 laps.
Ryan Bird's going to have a good run. Look at this. Here he comes into it. Now that's going to be a 3-car battle for the lead.
Well, he's got nowhere to go, though. He's kind of stuck there in the outside unless he follows Conover down low. Here comes Arthur as well.
He's going to maybe help Conover? Yeah, he's going to help Conover try to get by Ryan Patty here. And now Vincent Arthur drafting up behind Ryan Patty and Dunford behind him.
And side by side they are, Bird and Patty. And now Conover is up into the front. That's exactly where he loves to be, in that clean air. We'll see whether Conover can hold on. Of course, we appreciate all of you out there watching along with us on VirtualRacing.Network on our YouTube channel. We've got Cody Eldred saying, my vote is Patty to win. That's a pretty good bet. Of course, that was about a couple of laps ago when Patty was right up there in the front. Right now, sitting back here in second place, racing Ryan Bird just behind.
We got pit stops here. A lot of cars dropping into the pits.
We do, in fact.
Arthur Dunford.
Vincent Arthur.
Wow. Kleba actually passed Vincent Arthur on the way into the pits. That is impressive. I'm going to be interested to see what these guys take. 2 tires, no tires. Angle, right side's going up. You can see, I think everybody took 4 tires from the looks of it. Ryan Bird's still the leader.
Ryan Patty now onto pit lane. A lot of smoke flying. Smoke. Josh Conover just behind. You see Jake Christenberry coming in as well. And as we take a look back here at the times, no, it looks like 2 tires for Vincent Arthur. I'm not sure if Blade took 2 or not. Actually, that was earlier that Blade came down significantly earlier. But definitely 2 tires for Vincent.
And Ryan Patty slid through his box a little bit and had to back up, so that's a tough break for him. But I think, looking at who's out front, I think Ronnie Norman's going to be the leader as he just goes around Dustin Kleba. So I think Ronnie Norman going to be the leader after these things cycle out.
Well, he did do the undercut, which I find very surprising, but we'll have to see exactly how this all does work out. I believe it's actually going to be Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent.
But
Vincent
Ronnie
Arthur
is right in this mix. I'm kind of surprised that it did all work out for him in that way. We'll put the track map up here. You can follow along with where your favorite driver is at.
Our leader, Ryan Bird, going to pull it in here. Let's see if Adam Kulikowski is going to stay out. He's going to get a lap lead. Looks like Reeder going to pit this lap. Curry going to pit as well. And that's going to allow Vincent Arthur to get up into second place once this thing cycles out here. And Kulikowski pulls into pits.
Kulikowski still out there in front. Ryan Bird on pit road, Josh Curry, Cody Reeder all taking service. Right now, Bird is taking 4 tires. Arthur is passing him on track, so that undercut maneuver by Vincent Arthur worth a lot of time as he is clear sailing out there, and the fact that he only took 2 tires. Christian, I don't know if this is going to hold up, but both Matthew George took no tires. Blade Timmons took possibly 2 tires because it's showing 8.10 seconds in the box. So I'm not sure. May have cut the fuel short and done. I mean, I don't know. But I think I think he took 2 tires. And right now they have a huge gap. This is a 4-second gap over Ronnie Norman. 3.3 seconds to Blade Timmons in second place. Vincent Arthur has pulled off a masterful strategy to get the undercut. Now, can he hold everyone off at this point?
Yeah, we'll have to see if those left side tires are able to hold up. Blade Timmons will have to check the lap times and see. Oh, well, doesn't matter now. Caution is out. It looks like.
Oh my goodness!
Is that Nick Gillis? I believe that's Nick Gillis in trouble. Yeah, I saw him stopped on the backstretch on the track map, so definitely issues for Gillis here.
Yeah, I see some notations here. Gillis just getting it loose coming through the corner. See that number 3 spin completely around there. Unfortunate for him.
And again, a caution comes out. He wasn't on the track, so that's an interesting call by iRacing, but we're going to have about 7 or 8 laps left to go on the restart, and if you thought it was wild earlier, seeing 4 wide for the lead, we might see 5 wide for the lead here within the next couple of laps here on the restart, but looks like Blade Timmons and Matthew George going to elect to come in, put 4 tires on, Ronnie Norman as well.
Yep.
Jacob Malone. So these guys taking their last set of tires that are available in the pits, just going to try to work through the field here. Vincent Arthur does have about 8 or 9 laps on those right side tires, I would say. So he's going to have to defend against Kleba, who took 4 tires, Kristenberry 4 tires, I think Patty 4 tires, and Senchek on 2 or fuel only.
Well, this is a very gutsy call.
Oh, what happened to Vincent Arthur?
Oh, I guess he did decide to come into the pits. Or has he just slowed?
I don't think he came into the pits unless
take
it
a
didn't
look
show
here.
us.
No, it would show Vincent Arthur crashed. Let's take a look at this. There's Kleba just behind. Sometimes crashed means he just stopped on track. He does. He just stops on track. What in the world? Christian, this is...
Wonder if his wheel fell off, because he did say that his wheel was having an issue staying on at the beginning of the race, so I'm curious if maybe his steering wheel fell off the desk. Then you can see the internet kind of flickered a little bit whenever he jammed on the brakes, but he got back going. You can see the wheel turning before getting on the gas, so that might be him putting it back onto the desk and screwing it in.
Holding it with his knees at this point. My goodness me, what an amazing turn of events. And now, as we go back to the live picture...
He's back up front. He's good. He's got it detached now.
So is that a product of iRacing allowing him to go again, or is this NORA giving him permission to go back up there and rejoin in the lead?
I believe iRacing will let him get his position back, but I don't know if... I'm assuming NORA rules would allow him to get back up there if it was not of his control, like if a steering wheel fell off or he blinked out or the screen froze, something like that. That's not in his control. He would be allowed getting that position back. So we're not sure exactly what happened. We'll just have to speculate. Maybe he has cats and one of them jumped on him and made him slam on the brakes. We don't know.
Certainly I know that story. Yes, indeed. That's how I ended up with no cats allowed in the sim room. It's funny how they seem to think it's playtime when you're in the middle of a race. Vincent Arthur and Dustin Kleba gonna be going at it here for this race win. Christian, this is down to crunch time, under 10 laps to go. Who wants it bad? Is it Patty? Is it Christenberry? Is it Bird? Is it Arthur? Arthur would love to get back in the win column. We're back under green here at Michigan International Speedway. Just 8 laps remaining. Who's it gonna be? Ryan Patty getting into position here in second place. And just behind you see Bird and Kleba swapping positions.
No trouble.
Big
Cody
incident.
Reeder. And now Blade Timmons involved in a hard hit into the inside wall for Blade Timmons. That's going to end his day as we see his front bumper sliding across the screen there.
Sorry, Blade. I know you don't want to hear us laughing at your incident, but that was something hilarious. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's something I did not expect to see. Oh, man. But a lot of cars taken out in this one, man. And that started with Cody Reeder. It looked like get sideways and make contact with, I believe it was Dunford. So we'll have to take a look what happened between those two.
And, you know, up until this point, your car was the only one that was out of this race. So we've actually managed to keep a lot of cars in this race until this point. Here we go. Let's take a look at Cody Reeder overhead. See exactly what took place here. Just gets loose coming through the corner. This is the same thing that has been happening all night off of turn 2. Ping pongs around. Gets into Blade Timmons. Timmons is going to need cosmetic surgery following this race. And this is not the way that... I mean, Cody Reeder also, you know, he's another guy who would love to get into victory lane, and this is just not what he wanted to see. We talked about Blade Timmons being a winner over in the Truck Series, and now we'll take a look here. This is what Blade saw in this race at the end, just under 10 laps to go, and next thing he knows, into the side of Cody Reeder. And you saw Brandon Dunford up there challenging for the race win not long ago. Well, the pink machine of Dunford out of Milton, Florida, just a hop and a skip down the road from me here, gets taken sideways and laying across the track there. Anthony Mackie also involved. Here's on board with Mackie. 51 just comes up the track and gets into him. Like, Josh Curry wasn't, I don't even know that he was involved in that incident. He just was trying to take evasive action. Here's Curry here. We'll see him drive up the track, I believe. It's a little sideways there and then tries to correct it. Starts bringing it back up the track and bam, right into the side of Mackie. So, parts laying across the backstretch. We're out there collecting pieces. Perhaps one of you will be lucky enough to bring one of those pieces to a future NORA Cup Series race and have these drivers sign them for you as mementos.
It is a nice souvenir.
Really is. Goes up on your wall nice, makes a nice coffee table. That nose clip is going to go home with one lucky fan. That's like an
You know what's
entire
even
clip.
better? I tell you what's even better, when a wheel comes off one of the cars, comes up into the stands, and you catch it. Oh man, that's great.
And you just catch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's easy to catch, right?
You know what the temperature is of those tires?
About 300 degrees and about 1,000 pounds.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome for the split second that you catch it. You think you're a superhero, but yeah, no. Fortunately, no. In fact, I'm sure you saw at Indy this year that happened.
Yeah.
It went over the wall. They ended up buying that lady. It was her car in the parking lot. And ended up buying her a brand new car to replace that, which is a really stellar move by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But
I wish my car was parked there. That would have been nice to get a new car.
oh man, just of course, we joke about that, but there have been fatalities in the past with that sort of thing in real life. This being virtual racing, though, hey, You know, you can have parts flying. Nobody's ever going to get hurt. Up there in the stands, though, we are so happy. Once again, sold-out crowd for the Michigan International Speedway, turning out, 100,000 here, virtual fans turning out for the NORA Cup Series. We just love to see it. But thank you so much to all of you turning out over at YouTube. Real people really watching from around the world, rooting on your favorite drivers. We've got just a handful of laps to go. Barney the flag man about to wave this one green, and Vincent Arthur back in control with 4 to go. Is he going to be able to take the win? He's got a hard charge in Dustin Kleba right behind. Ryan Patty for Full Send Motorsports wants this win as well.
And again, we see Jacob Malone back there making it 3 wide with Brady Motes and Christenberry. He is making that inside work throughout the night, but doesn't through that corner. Vincent Arthur going to drop low, try to break the draft from Ryan Patty here as we're coming to get 3 to go this time as we go through 3 and 4. Ryan Bird, another one of those making that inside work. Let's see if he's able to get underneath Ryan Patty. Not going to be able to. Patty going to have Vincent's draft chase him down the track. 3 to go.
Arthur in control with 3 to go. This is the closest that he's been to a race win in some time here in the NORA Cup Series. He's out in front and able to do what he wants to with that machine, manage the car coming off the corner, wave down the backstretch and try and break that draft. Meanwhile, behind, it's a battle for second place. Here comes Bird on the low side. Here comes Jake Christenberry. He's going to try to squeeze underneath Ryan Bird. That's going to be for 3rd position. Move Christenberry into podium contention. Now you see Dustin Kleba still trying to do it. Where did he come from? That's the question.
Yeah, where did Christenberry come from? He has to have 4 fresh tires on that thing because he drove deep into the corner, made it stick, and came from like 7th to 3rd in one corner. But now we see that Ryan Patty's starting to ever so slightly catch Vincent Arthur. He's got it down to a 3/10 of a second gap. Ryan Bird right behind him. He's going to dive it in. Oh, Kleba. He gets a bump from Christenberry, goes into the wall. No caution yet.
Kleba folding back into the field, back in 14th, 15th. No caution yet. White flag is out. Barney the flag man gives him the white flag. That means this race is done. Should a caution come out, or should we finish this lap? Rather, we will finish this race.
Well, Vincent loves what he sees behind them. Them two side by side, they're not going to be able to draft up to him. So Vincent absolutely loving that.
Ryan Patty and Ryan Bird battling it out for second place. Here comes Christenberry on the low side on Patty. He wants this 3rd place. Will Bird be able to try to make a pass coming to the line? No, it's going to be Vincent Arthur, who takes a victory after so long here in the NORA Cup Series, and 2nd place going to Ryan Bird, 3rd to Ryan Patty, and 4th, Jake Christenberry, 5th, Josh Conover. What an amazing finish to this race. Christian, I don't think we've seen one quite this exciting here in the NORA Cup Series at the finale for so long, but Vincent able to take victory. We're going to take a momentary break here, collect our breaths, and get ready to bring up the final results. We have some post-victory flag extracurricular activity on the track, and Vincent Arthur will get to celebrating. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network with your top 3 finishers and a chance to chat with them. Stay tuned. and welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. What an amazing finish. You saw it live here. Vincent Arthur able to pull off another victory. That's after taking second place last week. Able to take the top spot again and get back into the winner's column. It's been a long time coming for Arthur, but he does so for Flatline Motorsports and over a very slim margin over Ryan Bird in second place for Late Apex Racing. Ryan Patty brings up third place for Full Send Motorsports, their first podium in quite some time, but not the win they were looking for. Still close though. Jake Christenberry, he's had a great run of races recently. This one, top 5, and in fact takes 4th place for Prestige TRD. Josh Conover will take 5th place for Flatline, and then Dakota Moniz and Tom Senchek of the Late Apex Racing team in 6th and 7th. Ronnie Norman survives to 8th place. Brady Motes in 9th. Chad Engel in 10th. Jacob Malone in 11th, despite all of those great runs that he had here tonight. Both of the Brian Powell Motorsports teammates finishing 10th and 11th. Everett Couch finishing in 12th. 13th will go to Matthew George. Kind of surprised not to see him get up there into the top 5 after all of that, but he did get caught up and take quite a whack into the wall there at a point where definitely made a big difference to that car. Brandon Dunford in 14th place. Jacob Gladelich in 15th. Adam Kulikowski in 16th. Christopher Thomas in 17th. Dustin Kleba in 18th. And completing our field is Justin Moody in 19th. Anthony Mackey in 20th as Vincent Arthur's not done celebrating yet. Josh Curry going to take 21st. Nick Geilis in 22nd. Cody Reeder in 23rd. Blade Timmons in 24th. And Christian Snyder, unfortunately, getting taken out and ending up in 25th place. So with that, we're going to get a chance now to chat with our top 3. And Christian, I think you had a chance to catch up with our 3rd place finisher, your driver over Full Send Motorsports, Ryan Patty.
Yeah, Ryan, you finished 3rd here, get a podium, the first one for Full Send this season in the Cup Series, so congrats on the top 3 there. Was there anything you could have done different to get that win, and how was your race tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I am second-guessing deciding to start behind the leader. I know we did pull away the 2 of us, but really wasn't able to get up next to him there in that final run. I don't know, it was just kind of tough. It felt like it took a long time to run somebody down and get up to their quarter panel by the time you'd be able to at least put a move on them to pass them.
Yeah, we saw Vincent Arthur take no tires. Do you think maybe that was the strategy that could have possibly won this race?
Did we lose Patty?
I think we might have lost. Yeah, we might have lost Ryan there. He was having issues with his mic earlier tonight, so I think he is having some more issues. So, there he is.
Hey, sorry about that. Having some technical.
All good. All good. So, like I said, the no tire choice for Vincent kind of sealed this deal. Do you think that could have been a factor in this one, or?
Yeah, after I ran the race on Sunday night here, and it was pretty apparent that tires weren't as big of an advantage. You could definitely hold out for maybe 5 laps or so if you get the track position. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely the move to stay out there, and I think he played his hand well. Tires could be an advantage, but like I said, it takes you a few laps to be able to build up that run, be able to make it stick on the bottom and pull alongside somebody.
All right. Well, again, congrats for getting the top 3. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we send you on your way there?
Yeah, I mean, everyone in the NORA Cup Series on track tonight. It was a lot of fun racing. Obviously, beating doors with a couple of folks, but no hard feelings. Everyone realizes it was just the nature of the beast here at Michigan. You got to be aggressive and have some fun with it. So I appreciate these guys for letting me come out. And Christian, thanks for letting me drive your car tonight. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we put on a good show for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want to run that car, just let me know in the future. And again, congrats on the top 3, man.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll see you again soon.
And Trevor, did you catch up with our second place finisher, Ryan Bird?
In fact, I have caught up with Ryan Bird, as he now joins us here in post-race discussion for the NORA Cup Series. And Ryan, that was an amazing run. We saw you making so many lunges to try to take the top spot here. It just seemed like you had a great run on everybody tonight, but you just couldn't quite stick it into the top position. Nevertheless, second place, that's pretty awesome. And if it means anything, you're the top of the two Ryans.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is one of the most fun races I've ever had at one of these big tracks. I'm normally not a fan of this type of stuff, but this was insane racing tonight. If I could have got a little bit of clean air, I think I could have walked away from them, though.
So what was that key tonight to trying to get up there and get into that top spot? We saw there at the end, Vincent was able to pretty successfully do it and land up there at the top. What did you need in order to get up there and actually get that pass done?
Just one clean corner. The big thing that killed you here is if you went for a pass and came off the corner still side by side, you were just going to get freight train. If you could clear him and get up in front of him, that's it. That's game over. But I just couldn't get that, especially on Vincent. He was very good at just hanging. And that's what you got to do here.
Well, you managed to take a couple of wins already this season, but next week we've got an interesting track coming up in IRP. What do you think of that one?
Oh, are we doing IRP? I don't know. That'll be fun. I don't know if I ever raced there, but that'll be a fun one anyway.
Just to confirm, IRP is only being run in the trucks. It's the Indy Road Course next week.
Oh, I had it backwards. Excuse me. Yeah, Indy Road Course next week.
I still haven't ever raced there, so that'll be that's a really tough road course. From what I've seen on TV, obviously it's super physical. So hopefully it's not that physical next week, but we'll see. It's going to be tough.
Well, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to for your second place finish here tonight?
Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend, Tattoos by Polly on Instagram, and Orchid Moon Tattoo Studios. Shout out to my teammates. They also had a pretty good run, good recoveries from some misfortune. And shout out to you guys in the broadcast booth and the admins that put this on every week.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. And congratulations once again in second place. It's hard to believe that Late Apex came in partway through the season, but you guys have already made such a big impact. And here you were the top of the finishers with such a class bunch of teammates. But we'll see you back out here next week, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
So that is Ryan Bird. He was spectacular here tonight. And now it's our chance to bring in the man of the hour, the guy who was with me in the booth just commentating on Sunday night, Vincent Arthur, who gets back into victory lane after quite a while. It was last week you took second at Richmond, and then this week, you got a chance to study everybody Sunday night, and here you are popping champagne and lots of confetti in the air. It's got to feel good, Vincent.
Oh, it feels freaking fantastic. I don't think I've been so excited for a win than this one. I mean, geez, it's not even words for it. It was just the way the summer has gone, and to be able to just come back. And I mean, I'd mentioned last week that for whatever reason, I have pretty decent results here, and just to be able to pull one out of the bag. I thought when that last green flag pit stop happened, I just took a gamble, took 2 tires, and I had such a big gap and my lap times weren't that bad, so I figured as long as I could keep the tires under me, I'd be okay. And then the yellow came out, and then my wheel decided to disconnect under yellow. Thankfully it was under yellow, which just caused everything to seize up, but luckily it turned back on pretty quickly, and I was able to go back up there. So for anybody wondering, that's what happened. It's different if I was trying to save fuel or something like that. But yeah, no, I got a lot of Fanatec. But yeah, I'm just ecstatic that I was able to hold on there. I mean, you're just kind of a sitting duck when you're out front. And I thought for sure that I was going to lose this race because I've been in this situation too many times to count. Back in the old Soda Guys Cup Series and MSRA Premier Series, it's happened at least 3 times that I can remember. So to actually be able to hold off and win one of these things, it's absolutely wonderful, and it comes at the perfect time.
Well, you did manage to recover from, a couple of different incidents. I know earlier you almost made contact with another car, and that set you back a little bit. You've had a couple of close run-ins in this race, so you recovered. It was pretty interesting to watch you execute that undercut strategy. Talk us through that decision, the decision to only take 2 tires, and how surprised were you to have a 3-second gap when you came back out on the track?
Yeah, I figured the biggest thing I needed to do was just break the draft, just break the toe, because if anybody had your draft behind you, then you were going to be, they were going to be able to stick on your tail regardless. So I saw that we were running out of time, and I felt like my tires, somehow they managed to stay on pretty well. So when I came down, I figured, there was 13 laps to go, once I got up to speed, so might as well take 2, just try something. Because if I took 4 like everybody else, Kleba had hopped me going into pit lane because I took it way too conservatively. So I figured my only shot was to try to pull something. So I took 2 tires, and I got out there, and cold tires really were not great. Like, if you got 4 tires, they really didn't heat up for like the first 5 laps, and then afterwards you were fine. But what I found was with the 2 tires, it was just, you were a little slower, but you didn't have that huge kind of warm-up phase. And with only 13 laps to go, I really didn't have to worry about them falling off. So I figured I needed to take a chance, and I did. And luckily they held off well enough that even through the restarts, I was able to keep the lead.
Well, it was spectacular to watch. Of course, multiple different strategies, and there at the end, you managed to keep it out front despite a hard challenge from Ryan Bird and a number of different drivers. Who would you like to thank for tonight's victory?
I thank Josh Conover for getting me the opportunity each and every week to be able to run this thing. It's been a hell of a summer, but to luckily get back in victory lane when I got a couple of good tracks also coming up in the next couple weeks for me, that's huge. And leading into the playoffs, momentum is everything. Gotta thank them. Gotta thank Pepsi for hopping back on board. They might just be my good luck charm this year. I don't know, but also thank you to Red Bull for running most of the summer. Unfortunately, we didn't get the results we quite wanted, but we'll see them on the car here again soon. Gotta thank Exalta, everybody at Flatline. Gotta thank my dad and my grandma for watching. Mom, I know you'll listen to this tomorrow morning, but yeah, just thankful to everybody who's tuning in, everybody who helps this go around. Thank you for the broadcast and the opportunity for Sunday night for allowing me to broadcast with you. And yeah, I'm just absolutely ecstatic. I'm so happy to finally be able to pull one of these things off.
Yeah, and it's a perfect time. I was talking with Christian. You're just heading into the playoffs. Great time to start feeling good behind that wheel of the 24 again as we're just getting to the end of this one. We'll see you next week at Indianapolis Motorsports Speedway at the road course, and I'm sure you're itching to get behind the wheel going right and left again.
Oh yeah, love road courses. So got a couple good weeks coming up for me, and then a plate track. So we'll try to finish out the regular season strong.
Well, there you go. Congratulations on the victory, Vincent. We'll let you go back and celebrate with your Flatline teammates. We'll look forward to seeing you again the rest of this season and next week on the road course.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That's Vincent Arthur out of Manchester, Maryland. He's taken so many victories already. He took 5 earlier this season. It's been a long time coming to get his 6th, but he's back in victory lane. And Christian, this could be the beginning of a resurgence of that 24 in his winning ways.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was surprised that Vincent didn't have more wins throughout the summer. He was always in that position to win, and then something happened. He's had a bad luck streak, but it's awesome to see him break that bad luck streak and put this thing in victory lane here tonight. And I tell you what, this was one of the most exciting races of the season for these guys. I mean, when was the last time we saw 4 wide for the lead at any of the tracks this season. So, man, this was an absolutely amazing race all the way around from everybody in it.
Yeah, and for sure, I mean, sometimes you see that at a super speedway. I'm trying to think if we saw some crazy stuff at Atlanta earlier this season, but this was spectacular, and I think, if anything, this just shows that Michigan still got a lot of life in it as far as a track to visit for all of these different series. Christian, this was a great race here tonight. I certainly enjoyed it with you, and I'm so glad that you got a chance to hop up here, but of course, we'll look forward to you joining back again behind the wheel, and we'll get a chance to do some in-car interviews as well. Either way, great to have you here tonight, and next week, it's going to be some great races coming up. Of course, the road course going to be here on VirtualRacing.Network. You won't want to miss it, and IRP, for those of you that are interested, for the trucks, that'll be on Monday night. And of course, our very next broadcast will be the Icon Cup Series on Sunday night. So you'll want to make sure, if you're not already a subscriber, make sure to subscribe. Vincent Arthur was chosen by those who are the subscribers in the chat room over on our VirtualRacing.Network YouTube chat room. They chose Vincent Arthur, and they were correct here tonight. We'd love to see you in there chatting away as well. So make sure to hit subscribe, and also like this video if you can. It helps to spread it out there and more people see it on YouTube. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off this week. I'm Trevor Greenfield. This was Christian Snyder with me here in the booth. On behalf of everybody who runs here in the NORA Cup Series, all of the administration and the competitors, we wish you a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you again Sunday night for the Icon Cup Series. Until then, so long, everybody.